Great recording for our BSPU call. Today I'm going to talk about creating a segment proposal for media. And as always, I'm going to hit record on my iPhone, and I'm going to record this for video that will repurpose and use to bring in a whole new audience to bestseller publishing, something you should be doing as you teach your audience and train people so that they can kind of embrace your stuff and be interested in you. So let's go ahead and start. Hey guys, Rob Kosberg here with Bestseller Publishing. Great to see you today. Great to be with you. I had a client ask this week, Rob, I reached out to a media agency. I think it was a blog post or a big podcast regarding my book, and they want to have me on, but are asking about some additional information. So what do I send them? I said, well, Marion, let me do a training for you and teach you exactly what you should send them. You actually did it a little bit backwards. Most of the time, if you reach out to a media agency, a TV station or a radio station or a blog or a podcast, just reaching out, they're not going to say they're interested in you right off the bat, usually, unless you have something like what we call a one-sheet or segment proposal. That is what gets their attention and gets them interested in you in the first place. So I'm going to teach you the basics of putting together a one-sheet or a segment media proposal so that you can reach the media, because the media need you just as much as you need them. There are literally tens of thousands of opportunities every single day on big media like TV and radio, and I'm not exaggerating, tens of thousands a day. Radio and TV, and they need to fill it with content. So if you give them great content and show that you're a credible source, then guess what? They're going to embrace you, and they're going to want to get you to give content to their audience. So let's talk about what a one-sheet or a segment proposal is and what the basics are first that you need. I'm going to go through the basics, and then I'm going to go through kind of the nuance, really the magic stuff that really gets you booked and gets them interested in you. So these are a couple of examples of one sheets that we've done for our clients. You can see that there's some consistency in how these things are built and made. So as far as what the basics are, the building blocks of your one sheet, you're going to want to have your name right at the top where it's easy to see. You're going to want to have a great headshot or picture of yourself also right at the top. You want a brief bio, just something that's a couple hundred words. It doesn't have to be very, very long. It should be very simple, something like that fills this section, but a brief bio about you and your credibility. You're going to want photos of what gives you credibility. So with our clients, it's always photos of their books. It could be photos of speaking engagements like TED Talks as well as their books. But you're going to want photos of something that gives you your credibility. Besides that, you're going to want talking points. So one thing about media is that with the media, they don't want to create the segment for you. They want to be spoon-fed by you on the things that you're going to be talking about that really will give to their audience. So you're going to have some type of talking points. These are the speaking topics that I have, and then they can ask questions directly from those speaking topics, and we keep those kind of right in the middle. And then last but not least, you're going to want to have some contact information at the bottom, how they reach you, your telephone number, your email address, as well as my suggestion is always to have, if you've ever been featured on other media, you want to have links and the sources of the other media that you have been featured on, because that gives you credibility, and that's what you're going to put right down at the bottom. So again, the basic building blocks: name, photo, brief bio, photos of your credibility like your book or speaking engagements, talking points for your media appearance, and your contact information, and if you've ever been on other media. Now that's just the basics, the basic building blocks. You're going to want and need more if you're going to book yourself or get booked on good media, on big media, and do it on a regular basis. So what is the more? Let me give you a breakdown of the more. There are two primary things that I want you to focus on with the more within your one sheet or segment proposal. Number one is you need some kind of great audience hook that speaks to the audience of the producer or PR representative who is going to be booking you. Now, what do I mean by an audience hook? Let me give you 4 kinds of audience hooks so that you can think through, okay, how can I take my topic and connect it with one of these hooks? Number one audience hook is what's called a timely hook. A timely hook. Now, what is a timely hook? A timely hook has to do with the calendar, the holiday that's coming up, the season that you're in right now. So one of my clients contacted me last week and said, hey, Rob, I really need to get on some television for credibility for what I do. She actually sells on Amazon, super credible, and a rock star individual. But she says, I'm getting some heat on the stuff that I'm doing, and so I want to get some TV. I said, well, hey, your timing is perfect because you teach people and you sell on Amazon, Shopify, e-commerce, and we're coming into the Christmas and holiday buying season. I said, I totally think we can get you booked, and I think we can get you booked fast. So, and she's part of my mastermind, so she kind of got, ahead of other people on the list, so to speak. And so we made a couple of telephone calls and literally got her booked because her topic was a perfect fit coming up with the Black Friday and the holiday buying time, right? And so we could create a simple segment that really matches with the timeliness of her offer. If you're in the fitness space or nutrition, right, or health and wellness, then the new year is a perfect time, right, where people are making New Year's resolutions, trying to get more fit, trying to get healthy, trying to eat right, etc. So timeliness is very, very important. That's the number one hook. Number two hook is a local hook. So the one place that you should always focus on with media and PR is your local market. If you live in a big city like I do, like Los Angeles, maybe that's a little bit harder. But guess what? They always want to promote kind of the local boy, the local girl did well. And so if you're local to a marketplace, no matter what marketplace, that's the place that you should first start. Share about your story, share about what you do in the locality, how your business serves local residents, how you serve local residents, etc. Because the fact that you're local to that market is a great hook for the media firms, for TV, radio, etc., that are in that marketplace. Number three, celebrity hook. Celebrity hook. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, if there's any way that you can tie celebrity in to your media pitch, then you are going to be like worlds ahead of the competition. And guess what? You can always find a way to tie celebrity in. So I just did a quick search on MSN just a few minutes ago, and I looked and it said that Kris Jenner just broke up with her boyfriend. I didn't even know she had a boyfriend. That the Brad and Angelina Jolie, breakup and divorce continues to be like a headline. And so if you had some type of book on relationship, or you were a relationship coach, or you help people with marriage, or even just conflict, relationship management, you could use these celebrity hooks to tie in. Why? Because TV, radio, media loves celebrity. And if they can find a way to tie in your segment with Kris Jenner or with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, then they're going to think it's a home run. So you can be creative in this as well. So I tied in Kim Kardashian into my television segment pitch. How did I do that? Well, I created something called the Kim Kardashian conundrum. And what I said is the number one mistake that people that want to write books make is what I call the Kim Kardashian conundrum. And that is, you should never write about yourself unless your name is Kim Kardashian or Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump or whatever. Because if you're not already famous, writing your memoir or autobiography isn't going to be interesting to people. You don't want to read the autobiography of Rob Kospert, right? My kids may not even want to read that book, right? But my story is still important, but my story needs to be placed into the context of solving a problem for my reader and my audience. So I called that the Kim Kardashian conundrum, because she's famous for the sake of being famous. And I said, that's the kind of person that can write a book and people will buy it because she's already famous. You should not go in that direction. So I found a way around it to use one of the most famous celebrities around that the media absolutely loves. So you can be creative with this. And then the last hook is what I call, and it's similar, it's what I call the pop culture hook. And that is, if you can tie in events like sporting events, TV shows, they're not really celebrity focused, but they are focused on a kind of celebrity, like the Super Bowl is huge, or if there's a big game coming up between your local team and the Patriots. Obviously, we have the World Series starting with the Dodgers being in the World Series for the second year in a row. If you can find a tie-in to those kinds of things with your content, then you're going to be way ahead of the game. That's number one, the hook. You got to create a compelling hook. Number two is you want to have some type of credible source, and ideally a credible quote about your topic within your segment proposal. Now, what is a credible source or credible quote? Well, again, for my media pitch for bestseller publishing, for Publish, Promote, Profit, my book, and for my TV appearances, I talk about how the New York Times did a survey some time ago, and I quote the New York Times in there, that 80% of adult Americans have dreamt of writing a book. And so I tell the producer that, hey, look, this at least, my topic at least applies to 80% of your audience, because the New York Times, not me, not Rob Kosberg, but the New York Times said that according to their survey, 8 out of 10 adult Americans want to write a book. So if you can find a credible source about your topic and add it to all of the other basic building blocks of your segment proposal, then you, my friend, have a winner. Anyway, I hope that's helpful. Do me a favor, leave a comment below if it's something interesting to you. If you want to get on television, you want to get on radio, you want ongoing media and PR, leave a comment below. Maybe I can give you some more advice on it. Thanks so much. Talk to you soon. Bam. Okay. Got my video done and trained you guys on the stuff at the same time. So I'm trying to go through what really is a 4-week course on creating media in 10 minutes. But I gave you all the basics and the building blocks, if you will, of creating a great segment that really attracts media to you. So the question is, what can I help you with? What questions do you have either around this topic? And Marion, I don't even know if you're on, but obviously I am recording this and I will give you a copy of it. If you've reached out to media and media is interested in you, they're going to want something like this, right? They're going to want something with your name, a great photo, a brief bio, photos of your credibility, your talking points, because that's what they're going to go off of for your interview, and your contact information. But in most cases, media is not going to say yes to you unless they already know you and have a relationship with you. In most cases, if they don't know you, they're not going to say yes to you unless you hook them, unless you have a great timely hook or local hook or celebrity hook or pop culture hook, and in some way show your credibility about the topic, because you have some type of third-party source pointing back to, hey, pay attention to this guy, pay attention to this gal. Hopefully that's helpful to you. What else can I answer for you? Jill says, sounds and looks good. Oh, I like magic stuff. Good. Deborah says, check this out, Rob. I follow The Outsiders author S.E. Hinton and saw a Twitter conversation between her and a desperate author who's about to give up on the novel he wrote because he can't figure out how to get an agent publisher. So I tweeted about BSP and the $1 Million Author Summit, and S.E. Hinton retweeted it. Holy cow, Deborah, thank you so much. So she knows about you now, and I've gotten 3 to 4 new followers just since her retweet. Pretty cool. My first celebrity retweet, and it's an added bonus that it promoted BSP. Oh, man, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm super honored. I'm going to go on Twitter and check it all out, which I think is totally cool. So absolutely. And Deborah, obviously, this is stuff that I think will directly help you. And I know that, you know, the media, I think the media and PR stuff we're doing for you anyway. but this is stuff that you're going to want to think about and do on an ongoing basis for yourself. Jill says WIIFM. Yep. Zig Ziglar. What's in it for me? Good stuff. I learn something every time I attend a call. You know, I try to make it different and teach something new. So there you go, Jill. Awesome. David says, how do you avoid the Kim K conundrum when writing a book about your own take on a solution to a life problem? Very, very easy, Dave, because you talk about the problem and the solution of the problem, and then your book is about your story and finding the solution to that without it just being a memoir and an autobiography, right? So, you know, Publish Pro Profit has, you know, it's filled with my stories, right? In some ways it is like an autobiography. It's a memoir of me, you know, writing books. And yet I speak directly to the person that wants to write a book. Publish Pro Profit, the new rules of writing, marketing, and making money with a book. And yet it is filled with my stories and my examples. So you want to write a book that speaks directly to the need, right? $1 million decision. Get out of the rigged game of investing and add $1 million to your net worth, right? You're speaking to the problem, the rigged game. You're speaking to the issue, right? Writing has changed. Marketing a book has changed. So speak to the issue and the problem, and then fill in, you know, make the book, you know, your stories, maybe client case studies as well as your personal story, that then gives them the solution to the problem that they're facing. Please let me know that I answered that appropriate for you and you totally get it. Jill says, I have a question. Is it necessary to send a paperback copy to media or contacts to get speaking engagements? You know, Jill, nothing is necessary, but is it helpful? 100%, sure. And it depends about the size of the media, right? If you're talking about, you know, sending something to get a large speaking engagement to an association or a big conference, then absolutely, you know, it's well worth it for you to spend $5.75 to print and mail a copy of your book. In fact, I recommend, and as you know in our training, I recommend that you send 5 physical copies of your book out a week, and that's really minimum. I mean, last month we probably sent out 100 copies of this. I think one of them to you, Jill, if I'm not mistaken, because of a number of reasons. One, we wanted reviews, we wanted videos, and also because, you know, we're speaking to new potential clients every single day. And for the ones that are a good fit, we want this in their hands. Because, you know, a lot of them will make a decision to wait for one reason or another. Time won't be right. So I want this baby sitting on their desk, like glaring at them, staring at them in the eyes, saying, write your book, write your book. So it's well worth it to get a physical copy into someone's hands. Do you need to? No. Dave says that definitely helps. Thanks. You are super welcome. Glad that's helpful to you. Jill says that's a good answer. Thanks. You're welcome. It is a good answer. What else can I answer for you? How else can I help? By the way, if any of you are in BSPU, not our done for you clients, hey, I am doing my 2-day $1 million author live event this Friday and Saturday in Irvine, California. We have 60 or 70 people coming, spending 2 days with me and a few of our team members. And obviously, Dave says he's going to be there. Awesome. Obviously, those of you that are done for you clients, you don't need to come. It's not going to help you because we're already doing these things for you. But those of you who are looking to do this stuff yourself, you're paying for information and coaching from Bestseller Publishing, this would totally help you. And spending 2 days with us. And so David is coming, which is great. Fantastic. And hopefully you're all set with, I don't know if you're going to stay there, David, or what, but anybody else that wants to attend, please do me a favor and just reach out to the office here. Sarah is in charge of the event itself and is getting confirmations, as well as we'll be there with setup. Austin will be there. David will be there. I think Randy will be there day one, maybe both days. Of course, I'll be there, and really looking to have a fantastic time with you. So any of you that are part of BSPU and are not a done-for-you client, then really good for you to come. David says, I have a shop 2 blocks away. That's awesome. Congratulations. Man, you don't have far to travel at all. So please make sure to come up to me so I can put a face with the name, and we can engage and say hi to each other. So anybody that wants to come, love to have you, and it's going to be a lot of fun. What else can I answer for you? How else can I help you today? And if there's nothing else, no other specific questions, then fine. We'll talk again next week. As I said, this is all being recorded as usual. It's all put into the membership area that you have access to. I also put a link in the Facebook group to all the week's calls. So you have all of that within the groups and within the membership area. So, all right, looks like that's it. Great to be with you today. I hope that was really helpful. And I hope it was helpful with the creating segment proposal and the media stuff. You guys are great. Talk to you soon. Have a great day.